Hello friends, now let's move on to our next topic, dielectrics. Now let us discuss about what is dielectrics, what is the use of dielectrics, how we use in our regular appliances, and we need to know about the difference between a dielectric material and an insulator too. First of all, when we are discussing about the dielectrics, it is an electronic device which does not conduct electricity. It is not used to conduct electricity. It is only used to store the electricity. It is a type of insulator but not a completely insulator. The difference between the dielectrics and insulator is dielectrics is used to store the electricity. It will store the electricity. In example, in capacitance, we will store the electric charge in it between the plates of a capacitance. The dielectric is placed in place. It will store the charge of the dielectric material. And insulator is a non-conductor, not a good conductor of electricity, and it does not conduct electricity and it objects the current of electricity. Means here it doesn't allow the current to flow into it. It doesn't allow to flow through it, and it will stop at initial stage only to flow the current, whereas dielectric will allow and store the capacitance but does not conduct the electricity. That's the difference between the insulator and the conductor we need to know about. Next, in dielectric materials, the positive charge and a negative charge are tightly bounded together. We can't divide the positive and negative charge. They are tightly bounded together and no free charge are present. Free charge is not present. So due to the absence of free charge, these are bad conductors of electricity. We not consider these as a good conductor of electricity. These are bad conductor, but they have good capacitance capacity. Means they will have good storage capacity. We can say that it has good storage capacity. It is a bad conductor of electricity. And next we need to know about how the dielectric materials will increase the capacitance of a capacitor. We can say that these are the plates of a capacitance. This is a dielectric material. Dielectric material will store the charge in it. And here induction process will be done. I will explain what is induction and how it will be done. I'll explain in the later examples. In this process, the dielectric will be stored. Dielectric will store the capacitance in between the plates of a conductor. Next, we need to know about some basic examples which will convert a dielectric material to a good conductor of electricity. First, we need to know about polar molecules and a non-polar molecules. Whenever we are discussing about polar molecules, it will say that the positive and negative are separated by some distance. The center of the positive charge and the center of the negative charge are separated by the distance and have natural dipoles in it. Natural dipoles. Here we are getting a concept like dipoles. We need to know that what is a dipole. Dipoles are the poles, means positive and negative are separated by some distance. Those are called dipoles. Means here two poles are separated, so we can say that these as dipoles. If these natural dipoles are present in a molecule, then we can say that these are polar molecules. And non-polar molecules. When we are coming to the non-polar molecule, the positive and negative are bounded together. There is no some separated distance between positive charge and negative charge. They both are combined each other. And natural dipoles are not present in a non-polar molecule. Examples of non-polar molecules are dielectrics, insulators, etc. Example for polar molecules are conductors. And we can say that in polar molecules, the total dipole moment is not equal to 0. Means net nu, dipole moment is denoted by a letter nu, is not equal to 0. Whereas in non-polar molecules, nu is equals to 0. This is the difference. And examples for non-polar molecules are H2, N2, O2 and etc. Example for these are HCl, H2O, etc. Now let's move on to our next topic. After we need to know about another some basic definitions. These are what is dipole and what is dipole moment. Means here we need to know about what is dipole and what is dipole moment. First of all, let's know about dipole. In polar molecules, I explained about dipoles. Means the center of two positive equal and opposite charges are separated by some distance. This is called dipole moment. Dipole. Whereas we are coming to dipole moment, it is the charge, the product of charge and displacement between them. Means the product of charge and the distance between them is called as dipole moment. Means nu can be denoted as q into d. Here dipole is known as nu and dipole moment is called as nu equal to q into d. And we need to know about what are the units for dipole moment. C per meter is the dipole moment, units for the dipole moment. Next we need to know about the dielectric constant. Next we need to know about dielectric constant. When we are seeing the word dielectric constant, it can be seen as the relation. Means the property, it is a constant which explains about entire properties of a dielectric material. Means here is a dielectric material. We can say that it has some dipole momentum, it has no dipole momentum, it has some charge and it has zero charge. Such properties will be present, and that properties was explained by dielectric constant. It was denoted by epsilon. We can also say as permittivity, relative permittivity. And what? Relative permittivity. In magnetism, we had known about permittivity. The word permittivity means the ability of medium to change the dipole moment. The ability of medium to change the dipole moment or dipole properties is called as permittivity. In magnetism, the ability to change the magnetization of a material is known as permittivity in that, and in this ability to change the ability of medium to change the dielectric properties is called as permittivity in dielectric constants. When we are seeing the word relative permittivity, then we get here two permittivities. One is medium permittivity and other one is vacuum permittivity. And epsilon can be written as E by epsilon. It is the ratio of permittivity of medium to the permittivity of space or vacuum. It has no units. Here the units get cancelled, and so epsilon r does not have any units, means no units. Next, let's move on to the in dielectric constant only. Dielectric constant, if more dielectric constant is present, then more electric flux density is present. Means let's know about what is a flux density. Flux density is the number of electric lines passing per unit volume. Means if we consider this unit volume, how many number of electric lines are passing in this unit volume can be explained by the flux density. And more is the flux density, more is the conduction of a material. And epsilon r, if epsilon r is more, then more is the electric flux density in a material. Then it will increases the capacitance charge of a dielectric. Means the storage capacity of a dielectric material will increase. Dielectric will store more charge, so that capacitance of a material is increases. If epsilon r increases, then electric flux density increases. If electric flux density increases, storage capacity of a charge in dielectrics increases. If storage capacity in charge of dielectrics increases, then capacitance will increases. This is the relation between the epsilon R and dielectrics and a capacitance and a flux density. And here we had got a formula that epsilon R equal to Eps by Eps naught. Whereas epsilon R is relative permittivity, it is the ratio of medium permittivity to the space permittivity. Next, let's move on to our next topic, that is polarization. Now let's move on. This is polarization. Polarization is ability to make non-polar material to the polar material. Means in non-polar material, positive and negative are combined. Whereas this is in non-polar molecule. Whereas in polar molecule, positive and negative are separated by some distance. And this is called polar molecule and it has natural dipole. And now we need to convert this polar molecule to non-polar molecule to polar molecules. Means we need to separate the charge of positive and negative by some distance by placing the non-polar material in external electric field. This is also called as local field too. By placing the non-polar material in external electric field, the positive and negative charges get separated by some distance d and dipoles are produced. This process all is known as polarization, and simply we can say that the process of conversion of non-polar material to polar material by placing it in external electric field. By placing in external electric field, that is E local, is known as polarization. When we see a word polarization, we need to know about polarizability too. First, let's know what is formula for polarization. P equal to nu by V. Why we are saying P equal to nu by V? Means P is the polarizability, nu is the dipole and V is the volume. When polarization occurs, means when a material is polarized, means when a material, non-polar material is get polarized to a polar material, then natural dipoles are produced. The dipoles per unit volume is known as polarization and its units are centimeter per meter square. And number of lines passing through unit volume, then P equal to Nu, where N equal to number of lines passing per unit volume. Unit volume is known as this. Later, let's discuss about what is polarizability. Ability, here we can see that ability, polarizability, means the ability to convert the non-polar material to polar material is known as polarizability. It explains about how much the material get polarized in external electric field. Means when a non-polar material is placed in external electric field, then it gets polarized. The amount, how much amount the material get polarized can be explained by how much amount the material get polarized. Material get polarized was explained by polarizability. And this was denoted by a letter alpha. And we can say that nu is always directly proportional to EL. Means nu is the dipoles and E is the electric field, external electric field. Means number of dipole produced is always proportional to the electric field we applied. How much electric field we applied, that many dipoles are produced in a material. And this relation can also be written as nu equal to alpha into EL, where alpha is the polarizability, EL is the electric field. And nu, from the above we can write that P equal to Nu and nu is also P by N. We can also correlate P by N equal to alpha into L, P equal to N alpha into E. N alpha into E. It can also be written in this way. Later, next we discuss about induction. Let's discuss about induction. What is induction? What is electronic displacement? Electronic induction or electronic displacement. we need to know about these topics first of all. Whenever we are discussing about a word induction, induction is a transfer of charge, means here charge get transferred, but not by the contact between the two bodies, means there is no contact between the bodies, but charge get transferred, means in the capacitance we can say that the charge is get induced. The charge of the positive plate get induced onto the dielectric and negative charge is induced. Such here the dielectric and capacitor are not contact with each other, means they are not touching together, but the charge has transferred. Such transfer is known as induction. Here when we see in induction, we also need to know about conduction. Conduction is a process by touching or by rubbing, means some material will get electrized, means some material will get electricity by rubbing one material with other material. The electricity was produced in them. Such process is called conduction, means we can know that conduction is a charge transfer by contact of two bodies, by contact of two materials. Whereas induction, without any mutual contact between them, the charge get induced or charge get transferred from one material to the other material. This process is called induction. And when induction process is done, the charge get displaced from one place to the other place, and this displacement is called as electronic displacement. This electronic displacement can be denoted by a letter D, and D can be written as D equal to epsilon into E into epsilon into E, and D equal to, we know that epsilon R equal to E by epsilon, and epsilon equal to epsilon into epsilon, means epsilon into epsilon into E. D can be in this way. This is about induction, electronic induction or electronic displacement. Next, now let's move on to our next topic, that is susceptibility. Susceptibility is denoted by letters Xi. Now let's move on to our topic, susceptibility. Now let's know what is susceptibility. Susceptibility is defined as ratio of number of electric lines of force due to the internal field and number of electric lines of force due to the external electric field. Means when we place a material in an external, means non-polar material is placed in an external field, then the positive and negative are separated. When positive and negative are separated, some internal force was developed between them. This internal force again combines the positive and negative ion. This internal force was developed, and this susceptibility is defined as the ratio of number of electric lines of force due to the internal field. Then internal field also produce some electric lines, and also external field also produce some electric lines. This internal field due to the external electric field is known as susceptibility. The ratio of number of lines produced due to the internal field and the ratio of number of lines produced due to the external electric field. Now we need to find out the relation between the D, E and P. D is the electric induction or the electronic displacement, E is the electric field, and P is the polarization. Now let's find out the relation. D equal to epsilon into E plus P, whereas we know that D equal to E into epsilon into E epsilon R equal to epsilon E plus P. Now P is equals to epsilon E into epsilon R minus epsilon into E. We can write that P equal to E into epsilon R minus 1, and this can be written as P by epsilon into E equal to epsilon R minus 1. Means here we already get Xi equal to P by epsilon into E. So in place of P by epsilon E, we can write that Xi equal to epsilon R minus 1. This is our relation. Next, now let's move on to our major topic. This is one major topic in dielectrics. Those are types of Dielectric polarization. When we are discussing about types of dielectric polarization, there are 4 types of polarization. We already know about what is polarization. Polarization is the process of conversion of non-polar material to the polar material is called as polarization, and it was when it was placed in external electric field. Now, the polarization was are 4 types. First one is electronic polarization, and second one is ionic polarization. Third one is orientation or dipolar polarization. Fourth one is space charge polarization. When we are discussing about electronic polarization, it was for atoms. The polarization for atoms, and polarization in ions, and polarization in molecules. Means when we are discussing about electronic polarization, we discuss between the atom and atom. When we are discussing between ions, then we will discuss about positive ion and negative ion. When we are discussing about orientation, then we will discuss about molecule, one molecule and other molecule. In this way, the polarizations are divided. And space charge is the molecule present in the space or the particle that present in the space, and its polarization is known as space charge polarization. Now let's discuss about our first polarization, electronic polarization. When we are discussing about electronic polarization, it is between the atoms. Means in atom, the polarization occurs. Due to the polarization, polar dipoles are produced in the atom. This is called as electronic polarization. Means when a non-polar atom is placed in external electric field. I am placing this molecule external electric field. Then positive ion moves along with the external electric field, whereas positive ion means nucleus, whereas electrons will move opposite to the external electric field. In this direction we applied electric field. This nucleus move along the electric field, whereas negative charge means electrons are moved opposite to the electric field. This process is called electronic polarization, and dipoles are formed in this material. Due to this distance between the positive and negative increases, so that dipoles are produced, and this process is called electronic polarization. We need to remember that this whole process was done in appliance of external electric field. Next, I'll express. Now we need to expression for electronic polarization. Now we need to derive a formula for electronic polarization. First, for the derivation, we need an atom. That atom with Z. Atomic number of the atom is Z, and it has a radius of R. Now it was non-polar, means it doesn't have any charge distance between them. Means positive and negative are bounded together. They are not separated. Now I placing this whole apparatus in the external electric field. Means I applied an external electric field to this. When I applied external field, then the process means here the positive. This is the positive and this is the negative. This is the nucleus and this is the electron. These are separated by some distance when we apply an external electric field, and change occurs and dipoles are produced and the material is converted into a polar material. How they converted from non-polar material to a polar material? Now let's discuss how this occurs. When we are discussing about atoms, there are two forces. One is Coulombic forces. And second one is internal electric field. This is also called as Lorentz internal electric field. Coulomb electric field is used to separate the positive ion and negative charge. Means here nucleus and electron are separated due to the Coulombic forces. Whereas internal electric field means here the electric field is developed. That internal field will again combine the positive charge and negative charge to its original position. Means it again attracts both them and maintain them in the same position. This Lorentz internal field is used. Means here external field is equal to the internal field. Here they both get equated. So now let's find out about Coulombic forces. First, Fq equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Qp into Qe into 4 pi r square. Qp into Qe into r square. Means here we need to find about the charge of the proton, charge of the electron, and we need radius. Here we need these. So first we need to find out about Qp. Qp means the charge of the proton. Proton means only nucleus. There is only one positive charge in the entire atom. So we need not consider for single protons. For whole we have a same charge. We know that charge density equal to charge by volume, and charge equal to charge density into volume. From this we can say that charge is Qp and charge density is Ze and volume is pi r square. From this we can write the charge of the proton can be written as Z into E. Means here Qp can be written as Qp equal to Z into E. Only a single nucleus is present, so we know not to consider more charge density. Only we an charge and the atomic number is enough. Next we need the charge of an electron. Means here we need to consider a charge of the electron. Electrons are more number in an atom, so we need to consider first density of an atom. Density of the electrons means here density, we know that charge density equal to charge by volume. So from this charge density means rho. Rho it can be written as charge means Z into E minus Z into E. Volume of the circle is sphere 4 by 3 pi r cube can be written. Here r means the separation distance between the positive and negative. Here we can see that the separation between the positive charge and negative charge is x. So in the place of r we need to write x, means minus Ze by 4 by 3 pi x cube is our charge density. This is for electron. Next we need the total charge in an atom. Now Qe equal to, as we know that charge density equal to charge by volume, then charge can be written as density into volume. Means charge is written as density into volume. Here charge is Qe, whereas density is rho and volume is 4 by 3 pi x cube. 4 by 3 pi x cube. 4 by 3 pi x cube, and here r only, not x, sorry. Here r only. 4 by 3 pi x cube. Here we need to take the separation distance between the positive and negative. Here we need to take the total radius of an atom. Now rho can be written as minus Ze by 4 by 3 pi r cube into 4 by 3 pi x cube. Now 4 by 3 pi get cancelled. We can written as minus Ze into x cube by x by r whole cube. What is this? Qe. And we had now charge of the proton and we had charge of the electron. Now we need Coulombic forces. Coulombic force is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Qe into Qp by r square. So that from this we can write as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into, what is Qe? Minus Ze into x by r whole cube into Qp. What is Qp? Qp is Ze. Now I am substituting Ze here into Ze divided by r square. Then we will get an equation as, here not r square, here x square. Here we need to take separation distance. Coulombic means we need to take separation distance between the positive charge and negative charge. Then we will get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into minus 1 by 4 epsilon naught into minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into z square e square x by r cube. Here this is our Coulombic forces. Now we need, I already told that we had two forces. One is Coulombic forces, which is used to separate the positive and negative, and other one is Lorentz internal field which is used to combine again positive and negative to their original position. And now this FL can be written as QU into E. And both FC and FL are equated. Then we will get minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon. Here Q means Z into E minus ZE into E. Here Q into E, and this Q can be written as minus ZE into E. This is our FL. Now from this we can write as minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon into minus into Z square E square X by R cube is equals to minus ZE into E. And minus minus get cancelled, Z can cancel, 1E get cancelled. Finally we will get one E. E equal to ZE into X by 4 pi epsilon into R cube. This is our final E. Now we had got an electric field, and we also had that one. Now we need to find out for relation for dipole momentum. We need to remember this E. This E was used later. To find polarization, polarizability, we need this E. Next I am taking dipole momentum. When the charges are separated by distance d, dipole moment, when charges are separated by a distance x, here distance is separated by x, nu equal to ZE into x. Why? Nu is equals to Q into D, and Q is Z into E, and D is x. We substituted that. And next, other dipole moment according to the polarizability. Now we need to derive for polarizability. I am involving polarizability with dipole moment. Polarizability, we can say that nu equal to alpha into E. E is the external field and alpha is the polarizability. Now this we need to equate both these mu's, and means we need to equate both the dipole moments, and we will get ZE into X equal to alpha into E. From this we can get E equal to ZE into X by alpha into E. Here alpha E denotes about the polarizability of an electronic material, means electronic polarization. Alpha E denotes about electronic polarization. And this is our second equation. Now I am equating both 1 and 2. Here I am equating 1 and 2. Means ZEX by alpha into E equal to ZEX by 4 pi epsilon into R cube. From this I will get final equation alpha E equal to 4 pi epsilon into R cube. Means we can say that our ionic polarization is directly proportional to the radius. We need radius for ionic polarization, radius of an atom. I will remind once again here, and we are taking an electronic polarization. For electronic polarization, we will consider a non-polar atom, and it will get converted into a polar atom. By separating some distance, we'll have some dipole momentum in the presence of external electric field. And when it was separated, the two forces are developed between. One is Coulombic forces, other one is Lorentz forces. Coulombic force will separate the atoms with some distance, whereas Lorentz force will attract the atom to be in the same position. Now Fc equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon into Qp into Qe by R square. I am calculating Qp and Qe, and I am getting Fc and I am getting Fl, and equating both Fc and Fl, I will get for equation for the electricity. And after by equating two dipoles, again I will get equation for electricity. By equating two electricities, I will get the polarizability, electronic polarization. Next, let's move on to our next topic, that is ionic polarization. When we are discussing about ionic polarization, it was occurred in atoms, means positive ion and negative ion. Means here we are placing a external electric field we are placing the external electric field is applied to a positive and negative ion. Then positive ion displaces along to the external electric field, whereas negative ion displaces opposite to the external electric field. Due to this opposite moment, Due to this opposite moment, the dipoles are produced. Why dipoles are produced? Now positive ion and negative ion are separated by some distance. So here dipole distance, where we know that dipole momentum equal to q into d. When some charges are separated by some distance, dipoles are produced. Here dipoles are produced in the presence of external electric field by separation of positive ion along the electric field direction and negative ion opposite to the electric field direction. This is called as ionic polarization. Now we need to find out the expression for ionic polarization. When we are finding the expression for ionic polarization, we need to consider two atoms. Means here we need to consider a positive ion and we need to consider a negative ion. Now that positive ion was more, means here now we are taking a positive ion and a negative ion. Here let's take an example. This is NaCl. Na is plus and Cl is minus. When we are placing this in external electric field, then Na gets displaced along to the external electric field, whereas Cl is opposite to the external field. Then we'll get like this. This is Cl minus and this is Na plus are separated by some distance from the center. From this is x1 and this is x2. From the center they are displaced. This is x1, this is x2. Now I am taking the displacement. The displacement of positive ion from the center. Positive ion from center can be taken as x1. The displacement of negative ion from center can be taken as x2. Here also, when we are applying an external electric field, two fields are developed. One is Lorentz force and second one is restoring force. Here Lorentz force will displace the atoms from their original positions, whereas restoring force again bring the ions to their original positions. So we need to equate here Lorentz field and restoring force. First, we need to find out the relation. First, x equal to x1 plus x2. As the total displacement can be written as x1 plus x2. Now, we need to find out for positive ion, Lorentz field for positive ion and Lorentz field for negative ion. And I am taking Lorentz field for positive ion, I can take it as plus E into E. When I am taking for negative, minus E into E. Next, I am taking restoring force. Restoring force for positive ion. Actually, restoring force is minus k into distance or displacement. Minus k will be present. So, for positive ion, I am writing minus k1 into x1. Whereas, for restoring force for negative, means negative ion. Here I am taking a negative ion. Restoring force for negative ion, already negative charge will be present. Minus of minus plus k into x2. k2 into x2 will be. Now I am equating F positive and restoring force positive. Now here I am equating F negative and restoring force negative. When I am equating E into E equal to, here opposite, they are acting opposite direction. So I am multiplying with minus into minus k1 x1. Here also minus of minus E into E equal to k2 into x2. When I am equating, I will get x1 equal to E into E by k1 and x2 equal to E into E by k2. Now I need total displacement. Before I want total displacement, first I need to find for k. K is an angular acceleration. Angular velocity can be written according to the k equal to k1 equal to capital M. Capital M means k1 equal to mp into omega square. Here mp is the mass of the proton or mass of the positive ion. And k2 equal to me into omega square, where me is the mass of the negative ion. Now k1 equal to, before we got E into E by k1 and x2 is equals to E into E by k2. I am substituting x1 equal to E into E by mp p omega square, whereas x2 equal to E into E by me. Me means mass of the negative ion into omega square. Now I am substituting x equal to x1 plus x2. X equal to, what is x1? E into E by mp. mp means mass of the positive ion into omega square plus E into E by me into omega square, where m is the mass of the negative. X can be written as E into E by omega square equal to 1 by mp plus 1 by me. And we know that nu equal to E into X. From this, how means Q into D, where Q is the charge and D is the distance, D equal to X and Q equal to E I substituted. Nu is equals to E into E by omega square into 1 by mp plus 1 by me. I am substituting X value here. Then I will get nu equal to E square into E by omega square 1 by mp plus 1 by m into E. Now, we already know that according the dipole moment related with polarizability can be written as nu equal to alpha I into E. This is our first equation and this is our second equation. By relating these both dipole moments, I get alpha I equal to E square by omega square into 1 by mp plus 1 by me. This is for ionic polarization, relation expression for ionic polarization. Now let's see about the relation for dipolar polarization. Dipolar